David Marawa. Live from the 2026 FIFA World Cup. Spanning Canada, Mexico, and the United States of America.
Right, one story I can tell you, though, is that Norway head coach Saul Solbakken says that his team's historic win over Brazil has boosted confidence. He says that Captain Martin Odegaard also plays a similar role for the national team as it does for Arsenal, but with added responsibility. He says that Odegaard leads the line in defensive structures, whether pressing in a 4-1 or 4-1-4-1, whichever the formation is. What a fun way of putting it. He was also talking about pushing higher in a 4-4-2 scenario, also central to Norway's tactical approach. He also noted, though, that while at Arsenal, Odegaard shares leadership with experienced teammates like Declan Rice as well as Zubimendi, Norway place a little bit more on his shoulders.
I don't think that's very different. I think that both Arsenal and Arteta use him in the same way as we do. When do we pressurize in 4-1-4-1? When do we go higher in 4-4-2? He is one of the main men there, obviously, as a captain and as our leader. He leads the line in the defense like he does in Premier League with Arsenal. He's perhaps has a little bit more free role in our team. That comes to, obviously, that he has great experience, and then maybe when he play with Arsenal, he has equal players with the same experience that can, with Declan Rice, Zubimendi, etc., they can share it a little bit. Obviously, we maybe put a little bit more on his shoulders. I think he enjoys that, and I think he deserves it, and I think that he has been, one of, maybe together with Erling, the most, our best player for the long term, and a great captain also when times were a little bit tougher than it is now. It's the right Odegaard who are sick. It's his uncle who is a physio who is sick. It's not Martin, so everything is fine. Every player is fine. So there's no sickness among the players. There's been one or two in the staff. So at this moment we are all ready to go. I think it gave more confidence, but I think that every game lives their own life, and I don't think that any of the team we have met so far in this World Cup has underestimated us. Every team do their analyzing, a lot of analyzing, so there's no secrets, I think, and that goes for this game as well.
Well, I mean, I always talk to you about some of the great legends that Africa has had and had to produce. And I always say to people, if you're going to be spending something like 6 seasons at a top club like Chelsea, then just best know that you know your story, because not too many people get to last at that level of football. 6 seasons plus. I mean, I can talk to you about all the World Cup appearances that he's had. I can talk to you about the African Cup of Nations, where he has represented his country on 6 Africa Cup of Nations, has done it on 2 occasions at World Cup level. So I'm not talking about just a little small fry in African football. I'm talking about a big hitter here, and someone, like I said earlier on, who's been doing such a great job, a fantastic job, an excellent job, having to be an analyst on SuperSport right across the African continent. We've been watching the legendary Solomon Kalou, who joins me in studio. Good to see you, sir. Welcome to the show.
Sangonani, South Africa. Thank you for having me.
Oh, listen to that. I mean, that's a man who knows the story. They've been teaching you some Zulu?
A few words, yes.
Well, you've done well to make sure that you come in here. Well, welcome to you, Solomon.
Thank you.
And I mean, you've been coming into South Africa since the UEFA Champions League,
yes,
doing analysis with SuperSport.
Yeah.
What's that been like? You know, the big transition, and you've headed up to the World Cup and then come back again, and here you are. What's the feeling?
Yeah. I think the first time I came here was the World Cup in South Africa, which was my first World Cup, and it was the first World Cup in the African ground. So South Africa is always great memory. Every time I'm here, it reminds me the good time we have during the World Cup. Coming here talking about football, transiting from former footballer now to analyst and SuperSport, I think it's a great experience. I learn. I have good position who helped me go through that transition. It's not easy, but it's a new ground to break. So I'm happy to be part of that.
But you look happy doing it, though. I mean, you look like you're at home now. It hasn't taken you long for you to settle into this new role because of the knowledge that you have, and a lot of people trust your knowledge and they trust your analysis.
Yeah, no. I think the good thing is something that I love to do. Is football. I've been doing that all my life. So talking about that particular moment of my career, and also analyzing games, and the big competition now is amazing. I feel really home every time I'm here. So that's a good thing.
But you're also feeling sad, though, because the African continent is not doing as well. I mean, we celebrate that we got so many, 9 out of the 10. But there's just one nation standing, and that's going to be tonight. Firstly, though, just tell me about the exit and how that made you feel of all the African nations.
Well, it's the first time we have 10 teams from Africa representing the continent. And I think that we did good to put 9 out of 10 in the second round. But now the question is to how we make the next step, how we believe in ourselves as an African team to say we can go and win that trophy. It's something that we have to manage to work on it. And if you see all the exit, it's not because we couldn't compete with those teams. It's just that lack of concentration on some moment of the game, which is maybe 5 or 6 minutes of concentration. I think we can work on that. But if you see the way African team conduct themselves on that tournament, I think the future is bright, I must say.
What did you make of the Egypt game? Because that's kept the whole world talking. I think it's still making headlines even today.
Yes, I mean when you watch also the Cape Verde game, you watch also the Senegalese game. It's the excitement about African football. People that don't follow African football are very excited to see those teams perform. But we know that we follow those teams through African Cups and stuff. We know our football is exciting. Now we have to play to win. Excitement is good, but now play to win, and that's something that I think and every young academy level, the kid need to understand that and learn that here in Africa, that when you play the game, yes, it's exciting, but you always have to find a way to win that game, and this is something we can work on.
But what is it, though, about the African nations, and we've seen it, I'm going to put the controversy aside, but let's deal with the playing, where you get now to the last 8 minutes, the last 7 minutes, the last 10 minutes, the last 5 minutes of a game, Solomon, and we're thinking, we've got this tied up. And then you realize that you don't have it tied up.
Yeah.
What is it? Is it a mental, psychological? Is it, I don't know, how do you describe it?
Yeah, it's very tough because sometimes, when you are in that moment of the game where you're tired and you are not, processing the game very well, I think it's something we need to also learn in our game. Is like sometimes we get carried away. Like when we are dominating and the game is in our hand, we get carried away. Instead of, keeping your energy for the last 10 minutes, say, okay, I'm going to wait and only attack in the right moment. Keep attacking. Because that's how, in our football, the way we play football, that's how we learn how to play football. Excitement, So we think, we score 2 goals, we can score 3. And other team will say, no, let's wait, keep our energy, our composure, and wait. When they make another mistake, then we can score the 3rd goal. And sometimes I say we get carried away, sometimes with the result, the way we're playing, and we can be excited for 70 minutes. But the last 20 minutes, you need to have the energy to kind of like process the game and say, okay, I'm going to just choose my moment in that game.
Which team, out of all of those African teams that have bowed out, which one disappointed you the most? Which one did you have more expectations of really making an impact at this World Cup?
It's quite funny because if I thought that Senegal could have done much better.
Yeah.
Because when you watch the whole game, they dominate the whole game. It's not like the other team have a lot of chances to score. They have most of the chances. And I think that the last 10 minutes, give a game like this when you have the whole game in your hand is very disappointing. I think for the player as well. And And what is more even surprising is that team have a lot of players with experience. You know, Gana Gueye, Sadio Mane, Mendy, those are players with a lot of experience of the game. So you expect them to, at that point of the game, to kind of like, you know, put the young player on and say, let's play it that way, you know.
But wouldn't you say, though, and it's an interesting point that you're making, Solomon, is that they've got all of those players, but I saw from a coaching perspective that they sacrificed those players at a time that I thought they should be playing and putting that experience forward.
Yeah.
And then you bring a player that's got 2 caps, and the first thing he does is get a yellow card within 2 minutes of him coming on.
Yeah, that's the same. You know, coaching player, we get excited when game going to our way. You know, when the game is going our way, we get carried away, we get excited, we start doing extra thing that we don't need to do. And the coaching is the image of the players. Our way of playing football is like, we want the excitement every minute, every time. And when you see the European way of playing football, it's like they wait for the moment. The momentum, they know there is a moment where they're going to put pressure, and there is a moment where they're going to wait for you and counter you. And I think that's something our coaches and our African coaches need to also implement that in our game. And you know, it's quite funny because most of the players play in Europe, right? So you expect them to have that.
No, I mean, it's a discipline, isn't it? I mean, you spend so much time playing in Europe, and you would immediately think, okay, even if the coach is telling you something different, experienced players, I mean, players that get to your level. I mean, I think you got to 93 caps playing for your nation. That's just 7 short of 100 caps, and you've got the experience in your team. Bring that mentality.
Yes.
Override the coach. You'll deal with that in the change room.
Yes.
I'm sure you guys did that at some point.
Well, yeah, you know, at some point you're like, okay, the coach said that, guys, let's do it this way because we believe that, and we're on the pitch and we can make the difference, right? The thing is now the coach for him, I think he thought it was a great moment to put those players in, to have some minutes. The game is done. And what you have to learn is that it's never done until the game is finished. You know what I mean? And Senegal, I think they can learn from that. I think all the African team through that competition can learn that when you play big tournament and those moments of the game, it's momentum. It's, you know, those moments where if you make the mistake, you're gonna pay cash.
Sure. You're going to pay big.
Big, yes.
Or it will probably go all the way to the White House, eh?
Yes.
Good evening, Mr. Rob. It's Sulufalang here. And good evening to Mr. W. Shoulders. And good evening to Mr. SK in studio, Solomon Kalou. What a legend. What an icon. I fully salute the man. I fully salute his analysis. And I just want to ask him, how was it like playing for Chelsea, especially that star-studded Chelsea that had, you know, the likes of, you know, your John Obi Mikel's, your Didier Drogba's, your all of those players under a legendary manager like a Jose Mourinho? How was that playing for that Chelsea team and comparing that to this Chelsea team? What do you make of it? What are your thoughts? And what does he make of, you know, the recent controversies with regards to the officiating, with regards to, you know, all the politics when it comes to all things to do with the 2026 FIFA World Cup and who is winning this year's World Cup? That is all that I want to find out from your esteemed legendary guest in studio. Great show as always. Thanks.
Thank you so much. Lots of questions. We got all the time for you because Solomon Kalou is going to be our guest until 7 o'clock. When we come back from the break, we'll deal with that question and so many more. Do give us a call in studio, 011-888-947, or else do send us a WhatsApp voice note. The man is here. It's a very rare occasion for him to be here. So we take it, we sample it, we run with it for what it is worth. And trust me, it is worth a lot. And if you haven't heard though, that shield is now Rexona, a brand that you've trusted for years, is stepping forward with a bold new name. It is pronounced Rexona. It is simple, strong, and easy to remember. Now, this new name comes with a fresh new look and advanced body heat technology so that it gets to work every time you move, keeping you feeling confident all day. It is a proud partner, though, of Bafana Bafana as well as Banyana Banyana. Rexona, it won't let you down. All right, that was the World Cup update on hashtag MSW, powered by Rexona. It won't let you down.
Hashtag MSW, live now on 947 Vuma FM, Rise FM, and Soweto Live. At the same Time. #MSW.
In ahead of tonight's big game.
Hi, Rob. Greetings to you and all the listeners. This is Joel from Wattville in Benoni. I just want to comment on tonight's game. Just like anyone else, I wish all the best to the Morocco national team. I'm not doubting. I know they're going to go through, but then it won't be an easy job because France is not a walkover. We all know the big names they've got, and we have seen how they are playing. But I've got the strong belief that Morocco, they're going to go through. Very unfortunate, like what happened with Egypt. But then these ones, the Moroccans, they are there to represent all the teams that have been knocked out. That's how I feel it. Thank you. Sharp.
Good evening, Rob. Good evening to MSW listeners. This is Lawrence from Protea Glen. I just want to wish Morocco good luck on their game against France tonight. I guess we'll see how the Moroccan defense can sustain the pressure that they're going to receive from France. I think they're going to have to be 110% in that game so that they can diffuse the fire that will be coming from the front three of France, which is Mbappe and the team. I wish them good luck to go to the to the semi-final, like what they did the last World Cup. Good luck to Morocco. Thank you, Rob. Good show as always.
Thank you for listening. And if you're watching on the YouTube channel, wherever you are around the country, the continent, or the world, Solomon Kalou is my guest. I see the lights are flashing. You know the lights are flashing when you know that there's a superstar in the studio, and it gets no bigger than a man who's come through from the streets of Courd Ofvir to the grandest stages of world football, from Rotterdam to Stamford Bridge, from Lille to Berlin. And that is why tonight we celebrate the remarkable journey of one of Africa's finest football ambassadors. And during a glittering career, guys, he lifted almost every major trophy in club football, with Chelsea, of course, winning the Premier League, the UEFA Champions League, 4 FA Cups, the League Cup, before enjoying successful stories in France as well as Germany. He's lifted everything. He lifts weights as well, if you're wondering what else he lifts. He's played for the Elephants in 93 times, featured in 2 FIFA World Cups, 6 Africa Cup of Nations tournaments, and also the Olympic Games, and fulfilled a lifelong dream by helping Courd Ofvir lift the Africa Cup of Nations trophy. If you go back to 2015, that's exactly when it happened. And that's why tonight we are going to be reliving those unforgettable Chelsea glory days, reflecting on the pressure, though, and also the privilege. Remember, it's a privilege when you represent one of Africa's football powerhouses. Also revisit his World Cup experiences, hear his thoughts on the performance of the African teams at this tournament. Hey, guys, we got it all. I don't know what he thinks about VAR, but trust me, before he walks out of this door, we will have Solomon Kalou's views on VAR and what the future holds, though, for African football. And that is why the UEFA Champions League winner, Premier League champion, one of Courd Ofvir's most accomplished football icons, Solomon Kalou, is here. So I thought I'd give you a proper welcome because we just quickly rushed into the World Cup, football stories that came through. One of the voice notes before the break, though, spoke about just your feeling of playing for such a star-studded, Chelsea team. What is that like, and what's the feeling when you reflect back?
Well, when I reflect back on my journey in Chelsea, when I came there, I think it's Mourinho who recruited me. When I came there in 2006, I was the youngest in the team with Obi Mikel, who was the 2 youngest in the team. And the other player, a lot of experience playing World Cup, playing for the national team. As a young player, when you get in that dress room, it's a life changing for you. You learn a lot of things. And I think that also helps us as a person, not just a footballer, because we're among people with experience. They show us the way how to learn the game, but also they show how to live. It's not easy to be in London when you're young, playing for Chelsea in London City. A lot of temptation go through that. But
tell me about those temptations.
Well, you go with the life of footballer. Every time you're out, you always have encounter with London girls, how they walk. But
and they're all screaming, "Hey!"
And then you always targeted like a Chelsea boy, Roman Abramovich. So it's a lot of temptation, but you have to manage that and play football and also be focused on the game. And I think that helped because you have a manager like Mourinho who is always in your back. He wants you to do better every time, every training, and also the player with experience like John Terry, Lampard, Didier Drogba, Claude Makelele. And that time, I remember when I first arrived in Chelsea, I was staying in the hotel, and Jeremy Ngitap, who was from Cameroon, who was playing for Chelsea, was there for a long time. So he used to be the one picking him up. He picked me up in the hotel and drive me to training after training, because I was not driving at that time.
Yes.
So those are elements that help me also to set up in that team, because there is players that help me through it.
Sure. You talk about Claude, one of my favorite players.
Yeah, Claude, yeah.
Oh,
Papa Claude. We call him Papa Claude. Because
he was the older man in this.
And every time that Mourinho is mad at you, he always sends Claude to talk to you.
Oh.
It's like, Papa, go talk to your son.
One thing about Mourinho is that he loved African players.
Yes, he does.
Come end of the season, what I know about him is that he would always take a trip, whether it was to Ghana or to Courd Ofvir.
Courd Ofvir, he came many times, yeah.
But what sort of a man, now that you are no longer under his wing, when you reflect on the greatness of Jose Mourinho, and now he bounces back to be a Real Madrid coach in the new season, how do you describe the father figure, the coach, the human being that is Jose Mourinho?
Because the thing with Jose, and that's why a lot of players, and especially African players, admire by him, it's like an African dad. He's not going to give you the easy way, but he's always going to make sure that, when you on the wrong side of the road, he's going to bring you back on the right side. So this is something that we all appreciate by him. And I think that it's also true for his word. So basically, whatever he will say to you in the room, if you are speaking to him, that's what you're gonna. That's what we're gonna.
So he's
happen.
an honest man.
Yes, he will say to you, "You're not playing because I think you're not doing this and this and this."
Yeah.
And I'm watching training. That's not what he's doing. And then when you start doing that, he will put you in the game. So sometimes we go to the game, and then we play. I remember we play in Manchester away. And then before that, the first 2 games I didn't play. So, when you don't play those games, you think, okay, we're going to Manchester. This is a top game. If I didn't play the 2 other games, I might not play. But I'm on the bench. So you're ready. But
mentally,
you think you're not going to play. So he kind of pay attention to those things. When he see in training, doing what you need to do because you think you don't play. So we go Saturday, Friday we do the training. Saturday we go the game. He put the team on. I'm playing.
Oh,
so now I'm thinking, wow, what I'm gonna do? But then, if you play bad, then in the dressing room in front of everybody, he kill you. He kill you to say, you see, you're not training well. You're not focused. You think you will not play. Now you're playing, so show me what you got and stuff. So every player knew that, and because of that, you are alert. You want to be ready. Even if in 1 minute you're gonna play, you are ready to play, and that's what is strong. Is strong part, Jose.
Because I remember one game though. He's not afraid for the game to start.
No.
And then after 12 minutes, if in 12 minutes you haven't shown Jose Mourinho that you're worthy of being there, he substitutes you.
Oh, yeah.
He takes you off.
100%.
Yeah.
That's because he pay attention to every... People see and say, why you change this player?
Yeah.
It's because in training or because the day before, you see that player is not focused. So he give the opportunity to you in the game to redeem yourself and say, okay, I'm going to let him play and see what he show. And then, when you don't show that, you're out. The next player, sometimes we used to play, after 10, 15 minutes, he send a player to warm up because, and even when you know he's the player in your position, you change, you switch, and you start running everywhere. That's his method,
The conversation is with Solomon Kalou, one of the greats on the African continent, one of the greats as far as world football is concerned. Tepiso in Midrand, our first caller. Good evening.
Good evening, Robbie. How are you?
I'm very good, man. I'm surrounded by greatness here.
Great Chelsea player. As a Chelsea fan, I'm quite excited to be talking to one of the African ambassadors of the game who represented Africa very well. And he's one of the players that actually convinced me to support such a great club in London. Robbie, I just have a quick question, quick fire one to Solomon. Well, not one, but 2. One is related to the World Cup. Solomon, do you think that players that represented other nationalities and other countries before, or who are not, or didn't grow up in Africa, are not really giving it their all in this World Cup. You know, I'm looking at players that, who's the Ghanaian player that plays for City? I just forgot his name. His name is escaping me. And that's just one example. And one last question is, as a parting shot, what is your favorite Chelsea goal or memorable goal? I just want to take that with me to say Solomon loves this goal. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Tsepiso, calling us from Midrand. Do give us a call, guys. Solomon is here until the top of the hour. Says that players that represent other nations, you know what he's talking about.
Yeah.
Now, do they give it their all? I think that's the big question.
Yeah, I think so. I think those are the players who come play for the World Cup. It's such a big event, so when you come to the World Cup, you cannot say, I'm not doing my best. Of course, you are doing your best. But the problem is, sometimes I think that people don't understand. We have that in Ivory Coast, where with Bonny, they like Bonny and all those players that grew up in France, for example. And for most of the time of their life, they never been to the country. So coming to the country that even it's your parent country and that's where you're from, but if you're not used to the people there, you never live there, you don't know how people think. This also is important to understand those players, because they come to an environment where they don't necessarily understand, so they are getting used to it. So it will take time. It's always, you need time, and I think those players need time to adapt the way the country play, the way the newspaper write about them, the way they criticize them. All this can play in their head, because you come in as a savior, I would say, because you are playing he's playing Inter Milan.
You're the star.
He was born in France. He just picked his passport a couple of months before the World Cup. So people, the expectation is very high. So it can be a pressure also on the players, and that also can play a big part on the performance.
All right, let me take Maxwell, and then we go to your voice notes. Maxwell is in Pretoria. Good evening.
Good evening, Bob Marawa, and your guest, Simon Kalou. How are you, my good sir?
We both very, very good. Hey, the legend is here.
Yeah, man. As an African player, how do you see the current state of African football since Patrice Motsepe, as a CAF president, have transformed the whole situation in Africa? And what is your take about I wanted to, that one you answered me already. Jose Mourinho, I think, was your best coach that he ever coached you, from what I was listening to. So the last question is, how do you see this game, as Morocco won't be having the top marksman, the number one who scores the goals there tonight game against Morocco? And thanks for gracing our situation. And I'm not happy in that way, because I heard that you are a Chiefs fan. So that's why it didn't go well. Thanks, Bob.
Thanks, Maxwell. Well, maybe let's fix that one, though, because the one thing I know you said was that you've always been a big Dr. Khumalo fan.
Yes, I've always been a Dr. Khumalo fan. Shout out to Dr. Khumalo. He's a legend.
The famous number 15.
Yeah, number 15. Also, the thing is, my brother was being called Dr. Khumalo growing up.
Oh.
Yes, and his style of playing football was similar to Dr. Khumalo when he was playing football. And when he started his professional career, he started wearing the number 15 because of Dr. Khumalo. So we grew up
with fans of
We've
Dr.
been fans of Dr.
Yeah.
Khumalo. So.
Also the skills that he has. And
of course.
And then he took you on a tour to the Kaizer Chiefs village.
Yeah, the village. Yeah. Amazing. It's nice to see a club, an African club, to have a section. Beautiful
great
playground,
facility.
Great facility. Those are the facility you see in Europe everywhere, and big club, not only for ordinary club, for big club. So to have that here with a team, that's also a way of developing African football, because now we are training like pro. We are living in the pro scheme, which is good facility, training ground, recuperation, recovery, and everything is there. And then when you go to Europe, you're already used to this kind of thing, so it's much easier. Yeah.
And was there at any stage, though, while you were playing, let's say after Chelsea, did any South African team approach you, want you to come and play?
I have my friend who play for Sundown, Tiene Shaka.
Yes.
So he called me and said, "Oh, are you interested to play in Sundown?" I said, that was before I decided no, I don't want to play anymore. But he kind of like put that on place he wanted to speak to the president, and because he's friend with the president, you want to arrange that for me to come here, and that's what I decided. No, I don't want to play anymore.
Do you regret though? Do you regret not coming to play for Sundowns?
I mean, not a regret to the fact that when you prepare yourself to come play this in a club, you have to be ready to give the full potential. Also, your physicality and stuff is important. You just don't come to a place just to show up and not perform the way you want. So, in that area, I didn't regret that much. But coming back to South Africa every time and watching the leagues, how the league is, it's amazing. I went to the Soweto Derby, and the atmosphere is, you don't get it anywhere else like that. So it's something that South Africans should be proud of. The league is amazing. The team are competing at high level now. It's all about how you bring that energy in the national team to be against the Bafana that you guys won 96, 98, and 2000.
Yeah, you got our history, hey?
Yeah.
You got our history sorted out. That's what I'm saying. We should just give you, passport, permanent residence to be here. One thing, though, that, Sekatieni, and I know you say that is a very good friend with Patrice Motsepe. I agree with that because I remember him coming through for the Mamelodi Sundowns 50th anniversary that was staged at the Sandton Convention Center. So he's always part of that clique that comes through, for the president. And is also somebody that really was a big fan of the show. So do send my greetings, though, to him when you see him next time.
Yes,
all right, so somebody's asking about a hydration break. So before we go to our hydration break, let's pose the question.
And Rob, and according to the African legend, Rob, it takes something special for an African player to win UEFA Champions League, EPL, and many accolades in Europe, and Solomon Kalou is one of the few players to have achieved that feat. I have two questions to the legend. Firstly, what do you make of the decline of ASEC Mimosa, which I believe is a club that gave you an opportunity as a youngster, but they are no longer dominant in terms of their participation in CAF Champions League and dominating in the continent? Secondly, the introduction of hydration breaks, the impact thereof to the team's organizational structures, particularly we are seeing teams conceding in the second half immediately after the hydration breaks. What is your view around that? Tebogo, thanks so much.
Tebogo, allow us to have our hydration break. We'll come back and we'll answer that.
You're locked into Marawa Sports Worldwide.
Point that they're lucky. They're very lucky. Once again, VAR went for a coffee, and it's natural. I would like them also to take my coffees once in a while.
Former South African coach and also Ghana assistant coach, Coach Roger Dessau, joining us. The England players, are they planning and plotting not to shake hands with Thomas Partey for whatever reason? What did you make? What did you as a collective coaching team make?
Yeah, I don't think we worry too much about that because Thomas himself wasn't that concerned. I think we were just concerned about getting a visa to get him into Canada and get him to play. That was the biggest concern we had, and that's what we really focused on. Having spoken to Thomas various times along the way, a lot of the stuff is out of his control. It's something that has gone to court and now it's pending, and everybody's waiting for the outcome. And up until the outcome or the verdict comes out, we can't assume anything.
Wrong with the world, mama. People living like they ain't got no mama.
Robert Marawa. This is the 2026 FIFA World Cup.
Robinho, how's it? Hey, Solomon, you are friends with the Mutaungs there. I want to know, are they offering you some position there? Technical something or advisor something? Are they? Have you ever discussed something like that with the Mutaungs? Because they're struggling, man. They are no longer the ones that we know. Have you discussed something with them?
Hey, the Mutaungs at Kaizer Chiefs.
Yes.
Are you having conversations? Are you going to join them in a technical position of any sort?
Well, I have a football school in Ivory Coast, so talent, I can relate. I can bring some talent here. We'll see how that happens.
Nice.
Yeah.
And you've put that offer on the table, I'm sure.
It's always on the table.
Okay, all right. So is there one player that you have at the academy back in Courd Ofvir that you believe could fit Kaizer Chiefs and, really make a big name for himself here?
Oh, yeah, and I mean, the league is, I talk about the league already. It's amazing, the football here. People enjoy watching the team, the club play. So I think it can be like Teenage Shaka did a couple of years ago. He started here in Mamelodi and he become an important figure for our national team. So we have a lot of talent back there that I think can fit also in this league and fit in the Kaizer Chiefs roster, I would say.
Well, there you have it, Kaizer Chiefs fans, that you never know. There could be a superstar from Courd Ofvir coming through to Nigeria anytime from now. Well, before the break, though, it's something that we spoke about during the first ad break, and that had to do with the hydration breaks in football. And you kind of alluded to the fact that, at these hydration breaks, especially within the African teams, when you come out of the hydration breaks, the planning, the systems and everything else just seems to be messed up. Give me your thoughts about that.
Yeah, first of all, as I already say, at African team, our main problem is the concentration. We have that issue, but not from today, from a long time ago, So when you have those little break, it's more likely to lose your concentration than if you keep playing, you know what I mean? So when you keep playing, you are in the game, you are focused. And then when you stop and you have to go drink water and stuff, that's when we lose that concentration because we don't have. That's not our strong part of our game. When we have always have that issue, and if you see, the amount of goal we taken last minute, and it's not just for this World Cup, the World Cup before, even our time, we lost like this against Greece and Brazil last minute, and they score. So that concentration is always a big problem in our football, and I don't think the break also help because then when you are focused and you are playing well and you stop, that focus can disappear. Quickly.
But because the funny thing though, Solomon, is that I understand it's very, very hard. And we saw with the FIFA Club World Cup just how the heat was getting to a lot of the players, but also just a lot of the stadia. The games that one managed to attend, they closed the roof. And then everything there's ventilated, it's aircon. So, so in actual fact, it's not like you're playing in the middle of whether it's Courd Ofvir, Ghana, South Africa, up north where the sun is beating down on you. So in the end, you also just find that, you actually don't need these things.
Yeah, it's quite funny because the 4 years before, it was in Qatar and we didn't do the break. So then it was hot. And then I would understand because it was in December, we played the World Cup. Then it would have made sense that saying, okay, send a hot country, let's try something new. But I think it's more a marketing thing than even help the player because this doesn't help really the player. Half time you already have your water, you're already focused, and then when you play, you want to go until the end. When there is a break, that's why I say it's for every team, everyone, but some team are more easy to get back the focus than some. And for African team, we struggle with that.
All right. So much to talk about. I don't want to leave out, though. Are you working tonight on the big game? No?
No, I'm not working tonight. But I'm watching definitely. I really hope that Morocco will pull through and the African hope, I think, is the only team left on the competition. Yeah. They bring us that joy 4 years ago by going into the semi. So we are hoping that they will repeat the story again. And I think that they have the team. They are more experienced now than the previous World Cup. So they can manage to do it, even though they're playing against a great team, a French team who, since the beginning of the competition, been dominating every opponent. But it's a new game. It's a new opponent. Morocco can do it. They did it against Brazil. So and Holland, which are top tier of football in Europe and the world. So they can repeat today.
All right, chatting to a man who's been coached, as I said, by Jose Mourinho, Carlo Ancelotti, Gus Hiddink. He's been coached by Roberto Di Matteo. Hey, you might be linking up with him pretty soon, hey?
Oh, Robbie is my guy. This guy. We won the Champions League together, which is I will never forget that moment because that's a great experience we have together. It's funny because before he get the team, he was the assistant of the coach who left, right? So he was the one doing the training. Actually, in England, the manager don't really do the training. It's the assistant who do. So he was doing the coach training and stuff. And at some point I was not playing, but he always had on me, train hard. So I'm always there training. I said, Robbie, but you said to train hard, but this coach he won't put me in. He said, just training for yourself.
Sure.
Train for yourself every day. Training for yourself. So I went to the African Cup with Ivory Coast. We end the African Cup. We make it to the final and stuff. So he called me and said, Salah, I want you to come early because there's a game I want you to play. I'm like, okay. So then they sacked the coach and he took over. I came, I played the game, and I never left his team. I played all the game until the final. So to make it short is to show that if I wouldn't listen to him at that time, maybe I wouldn't never play that final because I wouldn't be in the team.
And win the UEFA Champions League.
And then I end up playing the final and win the Champions League. So.
Come on, you got to share with us. It's not every day that I get to hang out to the UEFA Champions League winner. Hey, when you guys are lining up and this theme comes up, what's going through your mind? How's your heart beating at that stage?
Well, it's and that, especially that final, it was an away game. It was in Munich, and it was the strongest team of Bayern I ever see. Robben, Lewandowski, all the top players. So I would say that when we get there, when you hear that song, you're a little bit nervous because you're gonna play in Bayern in their stadium for the final. So you're a little bit nervous, right? Then the first two balls, you say, okay, let me control good. You know how to control the football. You did it all your life.
It's a big stage now.
And that particular night, you control like a team, like a academy player who is learning how to control the ball. So you have to control it and pass it right, so you get your confidence. And then once the games keep going, the confidence there, and it becomes like a football game.
Sure. You obviously know somebody called Benny McCarthy, hey?
Yeah, Benny.
Yeah, he's the only other one who I can say, from an African perspective, outside your Drogba's and everybody else, that we pride ourselves as the only South African football player to have won the UEFA Champions League. So here we are, guys. Solomon Kalou.
This is Tommy from Eden. Greetings to you and greetings to Solomon Kalou. Rob, it's a pleasure to have Solomon Kalou in our shows, watching him on TV. Thanks for bringing him. Solomon, I don't know. Is there a way you guys can advocate for a vote of no confidence in FIFA president? Because this other thing is we're watching wrestling. We're watching wrestling. Is there a way this thing can be done away with? Because it's not helping us. It's not helping our football cause. But it was great watching you, Solomon, playing for Chelsea and Courd Ofvir. You guys, you played for the page, man, especially when you're in Ivory Coast colours. Thanks, Rob. That will be my contribution.
Good evening, Roberto, Carrier from Eldos, and a special good evening to the legend of the blues, Solomon Kalou. Evening, my brother. Hope you're well. Robert, I'm a big Chelsea fan, up the blues, and person always felt comfortable when the Chelsea team ran out there and Solomon Kalou was part of the team and did stellar performances over the years for us. Don't mention but one of many is that 2012 European run where Solomon Kalou was instrumental in our run in that competition and us beating Bayern Munich in the final. Hey man, the man is big. And it is really a privilege to have him around still. So I wish him all the best and thank you for bringing in the legend, Robert. Up the blues. Cheers.
You see the impact you've had on so many people, hey?
Yeah, I mean, Chelsea is a great experience. Today, when I go around Africa, I see the love that people have for Chelsea because as African, we represent that team a lot. Obi Mikel, Essien, Jeremy, myself, Didier. Yeah. So I think the African people feel close to that team because of us, and it's always an honor to go through those experiences, because beside the game, I think even today we have a tight relationship among all the African players that we play in Chelsea, and this is something that we have in common, the love of the game, but we create a family thing in that team.
I always said there was a stage where Jose Mourinho had so much love for African footballers.
Yes.
That I think it was only Peter Cech, it was John Terry, it was Frank Lampard, who were European players. The rest were players, from the continent, and that's just literally how great a country. Quick one, VAR, is that something you like? Yes or no?
I think VAR is good, but not when it's take over the referee choices. I think VAR is supposed to be there to help and support the referee, but not to take over. Because now we have a situation where the VAR is dictating how the referee should make decision, and I feel like for me, it's the most important is he's there to support, and that will help, because yes, as a human, referee make a mistake and stuff like this.
Sure.
But VAR now confuse people when there is when they have to watch many times and you end up making the same mistake. So people feel like they are taking over the game, which is, for me, this is supposed to be there to support, regulate the referee choices.
Well, you can see a lot of people that are watching you on the YouTube channel, they're saying that you could still have one more season to play. You still look very, very young. So who knows, maybe before you head back home, maybe just after the FIFA World Cup, we'll have you back in studio again. And an absolute pleasure. So many South Africans wanting to get in touch. So let's not disappoint them. I'll play the role of VAR, and it's clear and obvious that you are very loved in South Africa.
Thank you.
And keep up doing the great work as well. We're all watching, live on SuperSport and listening to your every word. So to you and your panelists, job well done.
Thank you, Robert. Thank you. Siyabonga, South Africa. Sizo Bonana.
Aibo! Yes, don't be jealous. Nice one. Beautiful. Solomon Kalou, thank you so much indeed for gracing us with your presence, and keep that light shining, my brother. You're one stellar human being.
Thank you.
And we'll catch up again pretty soon. This has been Marawa Sports Worldwide, proudly brought to you by Hollywood Bets.
The thrill, the drama, the action. Play the game again. Marawa Sports Worldwide on 947, Vuma FM and Rise FM. Powered by Hollywood Bets. #MSW. Live now on 947, Vuma FM, Rise FM, and Soweto Live. At the same time. #MSW.
Plug in, power up,
and vibe with Bolele.
This is The Frequency
on 947.